Michigan has done it. Michigan has won the national basketball championship, the first title since 1989, the second title in program school history. And do you know why Michigan won? Because they made more shots than UConn. They played tremendous defense. This is a team that only held UConn to like under 37% shooting overall. And they rebound. They out rebounded UConn. And the most key factor of the game was they knocked down the free throws. Michigan only missed 2 free throws, only two, while UConn missed a bunch. Michigan was knocking down more shots. And I did say in my last live the other day, Michigan's size was going to overwhelm UConn, and that's exactly what they did. Elian Condon, a North Carolina transfer who left my team, North Carolina, sadly, but great for him though. Won a national championship. He's never won one. He was in one, I believe. I think in 2022 or 23 when North Carolina played Kansas. Great for him. He finishes with 19 points. He was a big key factor. He was one of the reasons why they won. He played a huge factor. He knocked down his threes. He played tremendous defense. He actually got the most outstanding player in the tournament. And Yaxel, this is a guy who came with ankle and knee injuries. Yaxel had a good game. I think Yaxel got between 11 to 14 points, but it was a key impact for 11 to 14 points. He played defense, he rebounded, they shared the ball. This is a team that just absolutely dominated UConn, even though the game was close. I'm saying dominated. As far as dominated when it came to shooting percentage, Michigan had the better shooting percentage. Michigan was more lethal out there. Michigan played together as a team. I really wanted UConn to win, but UConn had a little comeback, but just the defense by Michigan was too much for them. You know, knocking down your shots. You got to knock down your shots, and UConn couldn't do that. UConn could not do that. So, Michigan, man, wins its second title since 1989, and Big Ten has really won some trophies this year. So Big Ten really is repping the trophies this year. I think Big Michigan won the Big Ten title. Now they win the national championship. So hats off to Michigan. This is a team coming with big expectations. I didn't expect them to get this far, but they really are one of title elite teams. And shout out to Dustin Mays. Hopefully they can be back next year because this is a team that had actually all transferred. All the starting 5 players were all transferred. All of them. You got guys coming from UCLA, the center. You got Yaxel coming from UAB. You got Elian Condon coming from North Carolina. And this is a team that wasn't even put together. This team is just that was just created on the spot. You know? And I think personally what that is that's pretty remarkable for all guys to come from different schools and buy into the program and win a title. You don't see that much happen. What's up, Angel Reactions? So back to what I was saying. Um, Thank you for being on here. Thank you for supporting this channel. Like, share, and subscribe, everybody. Appreciate your support. It really does go a long way. But yeah, Jesus Christ is faithful. Not just that, but Michigan played better. This is a defensive team all season. This is known for their defense. They played tremendous on offense. It just goes to show you that defense wins championships, but you got to have a mixture of offense and defense. You need blending of offense and defense because if there's no offense and defense, your team's not gonna go far. If you don't have some type of defense, what good is your team gonna be? You know, ultimately in sports it goes down to who can score the most points, obviously. But nobody really talks about this. Who can get the most stops? And Michigan, man, like I said, they held their opponent to under 37% throughout the whole tournament. Throughout the whole tournament, they've held teams under 40%. All the matchups they played in, 37%, 31%, 32%, 30%. This has been one of the best defensive performance by a a school in school history, especially in a tournament. A Division One school. Michigan did its thing on the defense. That's why they won. Hats off to Dan Hurley getting his program there. I believe UConn will be back. I was rooting for UConn. It really looked like they were going to come back. But until Alex Caravan missed that clutch 3.0, that was a killer. You got to knock that down. You got to knock that down, you know? And when UConn got the turnover, the guy, one of the players, missed a crucial layup. You got to knock down those shots. I'm telling you, just Michigan had the better edge. They had the better edge on offense, defense. They were clicking on all cylinders. They completely overwhelmed this UConn team. I said it before, size means a lot. And this was one of the biggest teams coming into the tournament. They outpowered UConn as far as size. They had the size advantage. They had the strength. Compared to UConn players, Michigan players were much bigger than them, you know, by height and size. And that's what happened. Size overtook coaching, basically. Two great coaches battling out. One coach got the better of the other coach. Dustin Mays got the better of Dan Hurley. Size overcame experience because UConn is the experienced team. Having won the championship in 2023, 2024, being back there again, I believe for like the third or fourth time in the last 5 years or something, or maybe the third time in the last 4 years. Michigan, an experienced team, coming into the game, in these title games, they only won one title game, and the rest were losses. I think they had a record of at time 1-6. Dan Hurley coming into the game was undefeated in national championship matches. That streak is no longer there. Michigan wins its second title in school history since 1989. And it's so amazing that they only have two because they had the Fab Five. They had the Fab Five with the Jalen Greens with Chris Webbers and all that, and they couldn't win a title. That just goes to show you the type of competition college basketball is given, and a lot of elite schools are out there. You know, hats off to Michigan. They played a tremendous game. Hats off to UConn. Even though they couldn't make those shots, missing free throws, they kept it close. I expect it to be a close game. Man, I was on my seat when UConn was making a run. I was on my seat when Caravan missed that three. I was on my seat when the guy missed the layup, transition layup. At the end of the day, Michigan held on. They pulled through. You got to make your free throws, you know, especially in clutch times. When the opportunities were given to UConn, they couldn't seize those opportunities. When the opportunities were given to Michigan, they seize their opportunities, and you gotta seize your opportunity, especially if you don't get your opportunities as much, or you're not gonna get it all the time. You know, you're not gonna seize the opportunity. You're not. You're not. You're just not going to. And Michigan, like I said, they really took advantage of what they were given. What the circumstances playing, what they were given, they took advantage. Their size, their shooting, their defense, their offense. They were just a better team. They were just a better team. And there's no easy way to say that. And tremendous for Dan Hurley to go back there again. You know, it's not easy to go back to the national championships multiple years. And to win two out of those multiple years, that's phenomenal. You know, these players, these experienced players such as Alex Caravan have nothing to put their head down because he gave them two national championships. I saw the press conference. He said he gave UConn all he had. He played his heart out and soul. Yes, he did. He gave them two national championships. That's really good. This is still a successful program. Let's see if Michigan can make this type of run again next year. Let's see if they'll be good next year. We'll see. I should expect UConn to be good. Now, will they make this type of run? We don't know. Only time will tell. But when you have Dan Hurley as your coach, anything's possible. Dustin Mays um, has shown that he is up and coming of the coaches, you know, to just bring his team to this type of level and to win it is just remarkable, you know. And the matchups that they had to get through wasn't easy. This is a team that only lost, I believe, 4 games, and they won over 37 games. UConn came into the matchup with 6 losses. So these teams are really elite. They ain't just they're just not like scrubs. They're elite, you know. And Dustin Mays, this was his second time being in the Final Four. His last time, I believe, being in the Final Four, if I'm not mistaken, I think when he was with FAU. I believe it was FAU in 2023. But yeah, he's been there before. But to finally get that monkey over his shoulders and win a title, that's great. You know, this is you'd be surprised. Michigan, for even though they're not considered the elites, they're still an elite program, underdog elite program, really good program. To only win 2 titles is just mind blowing to me. I thought they would have won a couple more, but that just goes to show you the competition in Division 1 is not easy. So, like I said, you know, the star of the game was Condone. Condone, man, like not just saying because his points, he played his defense. He created turnovers. He got the steals he needed. He made it hard for the UConn's backcourt, you know. And I think I think he was just the engineer that drove Michigan to ended up winning the game because he set the tone on defense. He set the tone on defense. He got over 2 steals. He set the tone on defense. You know, this is just a really good elite defensive program. And Condone, seeing where he came from, he's gotten better with his 3-point shot. He's gotten better with his playmaking. He's always been a good defender. He was a good defender at North Carolina. But just to see where he came from is really good, you know. And because of that, Michigan wins its second national title in school history, the first since 1986. So congrats to Michigan Wolverines basketball. Dustin Mays. Hats off to UConn, just the type of run they had in the season they had. And I'll see UConn back again, and I wouldn't be surprised maybe if Michigan's back. You know, they can continue to bid off this, you'll see them back. If UConn, as they are historic programs and women's and men's, they'll be back because the pedigree they have, because the type of things they require out of their players, and the coaches they have. These coaches are elite coaches. Like they're gonna want to have the drive to get the players back. Like every year, almost every year, UConn makes it fall, and I see that continuing to happen. You know, because I believe UConn should get some good recruits. Michigan will get good recruits, especially after the championship run and winning the championship. And the transfer portal. You know, a lot of Michigan players were transferred, so I wouldn't be surprised if they continue stacking up from the transfer portal. And UConn just has a good recruitment class that will get players either from recruitment or transfer portal. I think Michigan is going to go after and get some recruits too. You know, especially with a school that just wanted, they're going to try to want to keep building this and not just wait 30 plus years, 20 plus years to get back to the title. They're going to want to keep going. But defense plays a big part. When you have great defense, you have phenomenal offense. And that's what Michigan did. Size matters. Michigan overpowered them. The size was just too much, and your free throws matter. Michigan knocked down the free throws, and that's the reason why they won. Spicy Chicken Gang, y'all take it easy. Everybody, I love y'all. Like, share, and subscribe. More beers coming soon. Jesus Christ is King. Take it easy. Hats off to Michigan, winning its championship title since 1989, the second ever. Peace.